today is a feel-good practice. This is just getting to know the body, getting to know our stiffnesses and our tightnesses and our strengths and our weaknesses. So we are in each class we are going to have a peak pose, and today it is back bends, and we are going to have a deep relaxation stretch. It's a gentle pose we hold for such a long time that sometimes it gets a little uncomfortable before getting comfortable again. Regardless, what we're going to, because the theme for the whole 6-part course is body awareness and body confidence, all the classes are going to be active. So you're going to, if you start to practice this, you're going to achieve a certain level of fitness, a certain level of muscle tone, and a certain level of consciousness and awareness of healthy principles. Now I'm going to stop talking to you. I'm going to start to teach you some yoga. So we are in a posture called easy pose. Quite easy, but if it's not that easy for you, you can sit on a block or a cushion, whatever you've got at home. We are going to bring one arm out and we're going to stretch the arm over the head. So we're going to bring the arm in line with the ear and we're going to bring the forearm down. The theme of the whole course is body confidence, but I'm immediately going to be changing that word confidence to body awareness. The minute you're aware of every part of your body, you are going to be confident. And for the beginning of yoga, all we're going to be doing is getting you aware of every body part. Let's come to the other side. Now, let's get awareness in this top arm. Is it over your face or in line with your ear? Let's keep it in line with the ear and come down. And I want you to understand, sort of start to get the idea of how you're feeling in your hips and in your shoulders. We're going to kind of energetically push the hip down and the shoulder down to maximize the stretch through the side waist. Great, and coming all the way back up and little twists. In fact, if you've got a wall behind you, sometimes it's good to use a wall. You're going to twist to one side. I'm normally going to be mirroring you, so this is my right, but it's actually your left. So you can twist to the left, and then back to the center, and then coming to the other side. Good, and then back to the center. Let's come into our cat and cow poses. Coming onto all fours, hump the back on the inhale. This will be angry cat, yeah? Or cat pose. And then navel down, bottom and head up. This is cow pose or happy cat. Inhale and exhale. And the more you exaggerate the pose, don't go too fast, the more you really round out your back and bring your belly in towards the spine. And exhale, the more you're going to feel the opening in the body, and then wiggle the body around. Good, left to right. Good, and then spread the hands out, and then draw the feet back. This is our first downward dog, and your first downward dog may not have as straight angles as mine. This took a long time to craft. Your downward dog might very well look like this. You might need to stretch your hamstrings, engage your core, and get a little stronger. So let's start to see how we can do that. Let's spread our hands. Let's bend our knees today and keep your bottom high in the air and wiggle one sit bone up at a time and stretch one shoulder at a time. Get your belly closer to the thigh. Deep shoulder stretch. Pull your tummy in, engage the top of your legs. Then straighten your legs, and ground your heels down. And if they don't ground down to the ground, it's a long journey. Just start to enjoy the process. And look up and walk all the way to the top of the mat. Exhale all the way down. You can bend your knees. I'm going to mention this in each class, but I would prefer a forward fold like this than like this. This for me is not a great forward bend. You end up getting quite a dull pain through the middle of your back. So if your forward bend looks like this, bend your knee, stick your bottom up, and double yourself over your legs. Keep your head down. And then slowly coming all the way up to standing. Inhale. And hands to prayer. Exhale. Take a breath in. And a long breath out. Okay, so now we are going to start our Surya Namaskar. These are the salutes to the sun. These get our body warm, get our body engaged, and then we can start to go deeper into stretches. So I'm going to go slow. We are going to do 6 salutes to the sun today. We're going to build up each time you practice. So I'm going to start off slowly. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, palms down by your feet. Bend your knees if you need. Let's bring our right leg back and then our left leg back. And I'm sure your first push down isn't going to be neat and tidy, but what we're aiming for is to fall flat on the ground. At the beginning, we kind of look like this. Let's try to iron that out pretty much as soon as we start. Okay, from here, either legs hip width apart or together. Come to cobra pose. Inhale, squeeze your bottom. Tailbone down. If you have a sore back, you can come into Sphinx. Okay, and then from here, coming into downward facing dog. 3 breaths. 1, 2, 3. Now look between the hands. Let's bring our right foot forward and then our left foot. Exhale, head down and come all the way up. Inhale. Hands to prayer, exhale. Arms up on the inhale. Hands down on the exhale. Left leg back. Right leg back. And push all the way down. Did you go flat this time or are you still sinking your hips? It takes practice. Inhale, cobra. And downward facing dog. You're going to hear me say a few little cliches quite a few times. And one of them is about not giving up and accepting making mistakes. Every single time you practice, you get better. Nobody has ever gotten worse via practice. They've only ever gotten better. So if you start pretty crappy at yoga, it doesn't really matter. It's going to get better. Now look between the hands, left foot forward, then right foot forward, head down, exhale. Come all the way up, inhale, and hands to prayer, exhale. Take a gentle breath in and long breath out. Arms up on the inhale, palms down as you exhale. Now keep your shoulders over your wrists, right leg. Have you got a strong plank? Or does it sag in the middle? We're going to correct that. This is a sign of requiring a little bit of core strength. So now that you've done the salutes, we're going to start to learn certain standing poses. I'm going to teach you a series of postures. All of them are quite similar, so their movements between these poses will be quite minimal. And then we are going to do a sequence, like a flow between the poses. It's called a vinyasa. A vinyasa is where you sequence a few poses together. And it's not only a focus on the posture, it's a focus on the graceful movements between the postures as well. This is mindfulness. We'll start to talk about mindfulness in the next program. But first of all, we are going to work on a high lunge. I'm going to bring my left foot forward. I am going to bring my right leg back. And at the beginning, it's not a great lunge, is it? So my legs aren't too, my front leg isn't bent too much. But I'm going to work into a deep bend. And I'm going to sink down. If you're anything like me, this was a torturous pose when I first started yoga. I wasn't very strong in this area. This is sort of your hip flexor, hip whole area. But let me tell you, I'm strong there now. I practice it every day. And it does wonders for your posture, wonders for your strength and alignment, and for your core. So this is our high lunge, and we're going to add an extra pose. My left leg is forward. I'm going to bring my right hand down, maybe 10 centimeters away from the left foot. I'm going to squeeze my belly in. I'm going to twist towards the left side. I'm going to hang myself open and enjoy that twist. Twist through the spine, twist through the belly. It is so good for the digestion. Now let's come gracefully up to high lunge. Can you do it? Without faltering. Takes a little bit of focus. And bring your hands to prayer, and let's move to the other side. So we've got our right foot forward. This time we're going to be on the ball of the left. And we are going to sink down, sink down, sink down, even deeper than you think. The back leg should be getting stronger. I know when I teach kids, their knees are like this. We're going to aim for strong, straight back leg. Good. Now from here, my right hand, the foot's forward. So I'm going to bring my left hand up. I'm going to squeeze my belly and actually hump the back. And then twist. And get a little crack. And twisting. 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 Good. Can you come back up to your lunge without stumbling? It takes strength and focus. And then come back together. We're going to jump back to our most basic standing posture, mountain pose, Tadasana. So that is our, I'm going to call that a twisted lunge. Let's go to the wall for the next series of postures. So I'm going to get my legs about 1 meter apart, a bit over 1 meter apart actually. And what we started with the left leg before, we're going to bring the left leg out. So when I started yoga, I had a whole lot of alignment issues. Everything was out of place until a teacher pinned me to a wall and made me do the following set of poses at the wall. It was a game changer for my practice. So if you haven't done yoga before, just start here and you'll iron out all the problems straight away. I'm going to bend this knee to 90 degrees. I'm going to bring my arms out 180 degrees. I'm going to look out at the fingers, and this is Warrior 2. So your challenge, I'm going to teach you 3 poses. Warrior 2, Reverse Warrior, and Side Angle Pose. Your challenge is not to straighten this leg. Think. You can do it. Reverse Warrior is a beautiful pose. It opens up your whole side waist. These poses are so good for digestion, your digestive organs, your abdominal organs. Okay, from here, we're going to go back to Warrior 2, but we have not straightened that leg, even though we are burning here, yeah? But it doesn't matter, we're getting stronger. Elbow down to the leg, and bring your arm over the head. Now this arm is going to also line up against the wall. My whole hand's pointing down, but my shoulder is at the wall. Okay, well done. Did you stay without straightening your leg the whole time? I think if you're new to yoga, it is extremely hard. It gets easier. You start to be a bit of mind over matter. Let's bend the right leg and float out. So what I've got at the wall, actually, is my right buttock and my shoulder blades. My left buttock is maybe like a handspan away from the wall. We don't want to be too flat against the wall. There is a little bit of leeway for hips. So what was this posture called? Do you remember? Yeah, Warrior 2. Do you remember what this pose was? Reverse Warrior. What was this one? Yes, Warrior 2. And what was this one? Do you remember? Side Angle Posture. And we have just been glued to the wall the whole time. Okay, let's come back. Let's get our feet maybe 2 inches, 5 centimeters from the wall. So our bottom's still at the wall and you can bend the knees. We are going to fold down in a forward fold. So I'm going to bring my hands down. If you can't reach the ground, you can have your hand on an elevation like a block, or you can walk your hands between the feet and fold all the way down. So you might think it's quite strict with the bottom at the wall, that you might not be able to stretch your legs, but the wall actually helps you stretch your hamstrings, like massages your hamstrings a bit. Give it a go. Staying about 5 breaths, 5 gentle breaths. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now bend your knees, look up, hands to hips, coming all the way up, and jump your feet together. Well done. We've got one more pose. We'll do it against the wall, and it's called triangle. And then we are going to put the whole vinyasa together. I'm going to bring my left foot out and the right. Glue myself to the wall. I'm going to reach out towards the left, and I'm going to bring the back of my hand down on the inside edge of the calf. Too often, I see kids do, and adults too actually, do the pose like this. Do you see, with the buttocks sticking out, shoulder collapsed, chest forward? This is why we are using the wall today. This way. Eventually you'll be able to reach the ground, but don't try reaching the ground until pretty much your body is ironed out and flat. Good. This is Trikonasana, triangle pose. And coming to the other side. And back. Okay, feet parallel and jump to mountain pose. So we have a vinyasa now. We have a series of movements we can do, and we can put them all together. How about we do them with our salutes? We've learned quite a lot today. Here is what we have learned so far in a practice. Join me. We'll go slowly, don't worry. Arms up on the inhale. Hands down as you exhale. Jump back on the inhale. Push down as you exhale. Snake pose as you inhale. Downward facing dog as you exhale. 3 breaths. 1, 2, 3. Now lift your left leg in the air behind you. We will go through this over the next few weeks, how to do this gracefully. But otherwise, just give your right buttock and hip a real stretch and lift your left leg up. Look up on the inhale. We are going to bring the left foot between the hands, beyond the ball of the right foot, and come to high lunge. Remember, sink the hips down. 2 more breaths. We're going to keep the left arm up and bring the right hand down and twist. This is our twisted lunge. 3 more breaths. And 2. And 1. Ground the back foot. We are going to come to warrior 2. Your challenge is not to bring any extra hands down on the ground. And now we have to keep this knee bent. Observe and be aware. Float back into reverse warrior. Coming into your side angle posture. Remember, we've got our back flat to that imaginary wall. Warrior 2, then straighten the leg. What was this posture called? That's it, triangle. 3 breaths. So staying up if you can't reach the ground. And 2. And 1. Now look down. I'm going to bring my hands down on either side of the foot and just pop back into downward dog. And I'm going to go to plank because this is a feel-good practice, an energizing practice. We're going to push down, flat. We're going to keep moving. Cobra on the inhale. Downward dog on the exhale. 3 breaths. Now stay where you are. I'm going to turn around so I can face the camera a little bit more. So we are going to now start to strengthen our back for our peak pose today, which is back bends. So I'm very sorry, we're going to do one more salute because that will get us to the ground. Stay energized, smiling, arms up on the inhale, hands down on the exhale. Jump back to plank and push down. Good. Thank God we're down on the ground. Let's just wiggle around. Now, what I'm going to get you to do is lift your ribs and your chest. This is like a cobra is just about to leave the basket or just sort of starts to rear its head. Okay, this is quite good for muscle strength in the upper back. And I'd like you now to raise your legs and bring your arms back. It's called Superman pose for obvious reasons. Or interlace your fingers behind the back, palms together. And lifting up 3 breaths. 1, 2, what do you feel? Do you feel every back muscle engage? If you do, you're understanding the nature of the posture. It is a back strengthening pose. Okay, bring the legs down. And let's come into Sphinx. So when you're quite young, you can have quite a tender lower back. It's because of the lack of strength. It's a hyper-flexible area here. So what we're going to try to get aware of is that the strength of the back bend coming from the front to the back, not a very dippy lower back. It's quite complicated, but the more aware you get, the stronger your back's going to be. So what we're going to do is squeeze our bottom. I'm going to squeeze my bottom and turn this is my tailbone, the very last bone in my spine. I'm going to turn it down. Already I'm going to feel that my tailbone is lengthening, so it's not crunching. So I'm going to do my superhero pose again. 5 breaths. Lift the chest up more. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now lower down, elbows in and come to your cobra. So in the cobra, our pelvis is on the ground. So if your shoulders are stuck into your ears, I want you to bring your hands a bit forward and roll the shoulders back. Another thing that makes you quite weak and the shoulders come to the ears is lack of strength around the hips and the glutes. So squeeze your bottom, lift through the top of the thighs, get these muscles nice and active, and you will inevitably soon start to bring your shoulders back. Okay, so we've been in this back bend for a while. Let's come down. One hand on top of the other, forehead on the hands, and windscreen wipe the legs. This can be a release pose. Okay, our half bow pose. Hands down. So if you're already feeling discomfort in your back, you're going to do this with your elbow on the ground. If your spine can go deeper, you're going to come up and you are going to come to your half bow, which is where we push the shin back. Good, can you see this? So the poses are like this. I've got a very straight arm because my foot is pushing my arm straight and my shoulder back. Shoulder stretch, leg straight, arm stretch. Good. Ardha Dhanasana, half bow. Yoga is full of very, very funny Sanskrit names. So Sanskrit is one of those ancient languages. It's not really dead because so many people do yoga these days. But the amazing fun fact about Sanskrit It's a very, very spiritual language. Nobody has fights in Sanskrit. There are no insulting words in Sanskrit. So you need to use Sanskrit and pay respect to it, because it only leads people to good health, positivity, and enlightenment. It's an amazing sacred language. So it's good to learn a bit of Sanskrit while you're practicing yoga. Okay, we're going to keep our chest up. We're going to bend our knees and bring our arms back. Now this might be your bow pose for the day. And you might work on lifting your knees a bit more in your chest. If you know you can do bow, it features in so many skills. It's probably warm-ups for your dance, for your gymnastics, for your martial arts, any physical movement. It's so good for your back. 5 breaths here. And 4. 3. 2, 1. Now slowly come down. Now this has been quite strong on my spine. And I do a lot of yoga. I don't know about you. I'm going to lay my cheek down. I'm going to windscreen the legs. This is my first release. And then I'm going to do an angry cat. Do you remember the angry cat? Whoa, there you go. That release of the spine. And then I'm going to do an amazingly comfortable pose called child's pose. So rest your forehead down and massage your back. But at the moment, your back muscles are firing up, and that's what we need for our back bends. So we are going to prepare our shoulders for the back bend. So why is back bend the first posture I'm going to teach in this course? Because if you are at school age and studying a lot, back bends opens the heart space, improves your posture. So if you've been slouching all day, you're going to be really opening up. Also, we found with children with asthma, once they got better and better at back bends and opened up their chest and their lung cavity, it really did wonders for their asthma. I'm not guaranteeing it cures asthma, but I know that it has cured certain cases of asthma. The connection between the breath of yoga and the back arches are great. Now, we are going to get a belt and go forward and back. Forward and back. The first time you do this, or as many times as you do this, look in a mirror just in case you do that. I've seen people do this and not realize that one arm is bent, and do you know what that says to me? Lack of awareness. So sometimes it means looking in front of a mirror. If you don't have a yoga belt, you use a tie, an old tie from your dad, or something, maybe a TheraBand. If you've got TheraBands at home, they're very, very good. As your shoulders get more and more open, and it's less, you can go a little bit deeper, just walk your hands in. Okay, so I've got a really great variation. I'm going to stand up for it. I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to, see if you can see me. I'm going to keep my left arm up and my right arm back. And my right arm is going to pull my left arm into a back bend. Push your hips forward, keep your tailbone long. Pull your right arm down more, great. And now let's do the other side. Right arm up, left arm down. Good. 3 more breaths. And 2. And 1. Well done. Good. Let's keep going. Let's keep the belt near us and the block. We're going to come to our bridge pose, which is a preparation for the big back bend or the big wheel. I'm going to get my block. I'm going to put it between my knees, and I'm going to do a little bit of exercise. I'm going to bring my hands down and lift up on the inhale and down on the exhale. You're not allowed to use the block. 6 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, if you haven't done it before, that might be quite strong. If you've done this kind of thing before, you might be ready for the next part. The next part is the preparation for the back bend. Now, we have just squeezed something between your knees. I'm actually going to get you to keep doing it for this one. I want you to keep your toes just slightly in, and something in between your knees. Bring your hands neatly under your shoulders and pop yourself up onto your head. So when I say neatly, don't have the elbows come out, press into the inside edge of the thumb pad and the hand. And come up. And then come onto the crown of the head. This is stage 2, and this may be all you do today. This already takes new amount of shoulder strength for some people. And coming down. The next one we are going to do, neat legs, neat arms. You come to stage 1, which is hips up. Stage 2 on your head. Or push yourself all the way up. Now some of you know this very, very well. You might be wanting to do some deeper back bends. Some of you may never have realized you could do that. A new awareness in your body. Some of you might have to practice this sequence a few times before you come up, but we've all got it. And as I said before, every time you practice, you get better. So let's come down. I'm not going to just teach one back bend. We're going to do a few more. You can either go to version 1, 2, or 3, or squeeze the block between your knees, hands under your shoulders, and then coming up. It might not be as deep, but we're going to start to use our legs more. The more I use my legs, the more my chest opens. Breathing 3 gentle breaths. 1 and 2 and 3, and coming down and hug the knees in. Now you've got a choice. You can just start to rest and just wiggle, or if this is exactly what you love doing in your practice or you want to go deeper, you have one more back bend holding between 6 to 8 counts, then hug your knees into the chest. This might be exhausting for you, or you might just be getting totally energized. 5 more breaths if you can. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well done, guys. You are going, if you are new to yoga, you are going to feel everything tomorrow. All your back muscles will be all vibrating and stimulated. I recommend to do yoga a couple of times a week. I hope already you've started to see some of the benefits of the practice and how it can assist you in building confidence. It's a great brain break in between study. Okay, from here, let's drop the knees to the left and look to the right. And back to the center. Drop the knees to the right and look to the left. One of the best energetic and physical releases for back bend is to get your feet into, lie on your back, get your feet into butterfly and lower to the ground. Just relax. 8 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well done. Okay. So in every practice we do, we will be doing our warm-ups, our salutes, our standing poses, our peak poses, and a relaxation. Well, a yin pose. A yin pose is the opposite of everything we've done. It is where we get to relax in a yoga posture. So I'm going to be in a very loose butterfly. Can you see what I'm doing here? I'm going to drop forward and relax. Now, if you are very stiff, you could grab, this is a bolster, you could grab a bolster and you can do this whole entire next part of the practice with a bolster here and hugging down. Oh, it's so comfortable. Now, you wouldn't believe we are going to hold this pose for a long time. We're not going to force ourselves. Don't engage with the muscles. Just flop down lazily and try and bring your forehead down to something, whether it's a pillow or a bolster or your hands. And I want you to observe the sensations in your body over the next 5 minutes. The muscular tension releasing, the deep-seated tension releasing, the mind relaxing. A few more minutes. very, very, very slowly coming all the way up. So sometimes you've been in such a deep, deep stretch. You can actually feel a little bit dull, a bit stiff after. So just do a gentle, gentle twist. And then from here, I'm going to get you to lie down in Shavasana for our meditation.